Okay, we've had a chirping noise from this horrendous thing. It's a Fire Angel, which is a good brand, but it's a battery only one. We thought that was mains on the ceiling. There's a bracket for it, as you can see. That is the CO2, which again is also not mains. So the plan is to take that bracket down, that holding bracket, and replace it. Replace this old one, although it's not old, but it is the old design. And the chirping noise was only happening when it was at a certain degree of coldness, I guess, if that's what we want to call it. And it was only happening at night, not during the day. So when the temperature dropped anywhere at about 13, the battery started playing up. To replace it, I've bought this, which is the new Fire Angel, which is slightly bigger, as you can see, and it does come with a full 10-year battery. Yeah, 10 years, October 2033. But as you can see, the base plate is far larger than the one up there. So, taking it down, putting this one up. Just be wary, folks, because this came with this lodge, and believe it or not, the battery that was in this was 0121. Now this is a 2022 lodge, so why add a battery in it with 0121 written on it? Because that's normally the expiry date or used before date or whatever, or best before. So yeah, this has got a 10-year non-replacement battery. Probably see me out, who knows, eh? There you go. So let's get it up. Right, that's the new base plate on. Luckily used the same 2 screw holes. So I'll activate this now, but to activate it you have to press that in, because that presses in and you put the base plate on. You're just going to push that button for me and keep your finger on it. Yep, it shows it's working. Cool. Now in position and to test the Fire Angels, you press it once for a normal sound, or press it twice if you want to test it at full volume. And it will go off 2 times. Good morning all. There is a maintenance problem that exists when you live in a lodge in the countryside. Yeah, all the way along here, look. Because I've got a feeder. Now I like my birds, you know, so I always put feeders out. All the way down here as well, look. A lot of young at the moment, and if you look very closely, they not only need their crap, they also scratch with their very sharp claws. Believe it or not, that's them lot. So that ain't doing me any favours this time of year, but I'm not going to take it away. They're all young starlings, they're all flying around like mad at the moment. But if I was to step back now, they'd be back at that feeder. So yeah, another maintenance issue. And that is bird crap certain times of year, I'm afraid, that you have to just put up with if you want to enjoy the birds. There we go. Okay, possibly latte time. Possibly another maintenance, what I class as maintenance, and that is that the solar lights that I put up on this lodge have been very, very good from Amazon. And if you get them on special, when there's 50% off, you can get 2 of these for about 13 quid delivered. I've got them all over the place, as you can well see. One on that shed round there as well. Now, with when we winterized everything, we covered everything up and I took 2 solars away. Excuse the wind on the mic if you're getting any. And now I've put one back here and one back there. Canopy is now up as well, because obviously it is getting on for lovely spring stroke summer. Egg chair is back up and the table and chairs is back up. So yeah, and we've even put all this back into position, which again is probably, you know, your spring maintenance of getting everything ready. That's for the brolly, so that's a bit more summer maintenance done. Another big one, this here has always been a bit on the bold side, this grass, and I've tried and tried and tried, and I've had that much seed on this. Look, it's all moss, and I've had that much seed on it. I've kind of gave up hope now. It's just so patchy all the way down the bottom. Now we've thought about having it done with false grass, but I'm not a lover of false grass because it just goes against nature, really. For every bit you put down, it's less for the birds to actually use and the insects to use and everything else. So I've decided not to have false grass. Well, by the way, that was the tree that was here, and it's still, the stump is still there. You can see that's rotting away, but that was the final thing I cut through, because when we moved in here, you know, there was a huge tree, one of these bloody things here. And again, I don't like cutting them down, but we agreed when we moved in that that one would disappear. So this is a maintenance deal I've got to do. Now I've had it priced up by someone who knows what they're doing, and you know, it's a fair bit of work and everything else, and by the time it's all done, it's about £1,000. So I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to turf it, some proper quality turf. Then it will be very lush with nice thick green grass, usable. Whereas at the moment it's just sodden, you know, it's just all, look how it moves underfoot. It's just muddy and horrible. So that's another maintenance thing. Your grounds around you, you've got to get them done and sorted. Now most folk on this site have spent either a fortune or a lot of time and effort putting all their grounds right, and there's a few jobs that everyone has to do, including this now, which is looking okay. This is all sorted. So yeah, that's the way it is. That has got to have some money spent on it and a bit more time, and that's the last of our big jobs. Let me just show you the cracks in my ground everywhere that I'm having to put up with. So it's gone from soggy to basically earthquakes. Big gaps, you know, there's only about 4 or 5 inches of actual soil, topsoil, that's any good. After that, it's just clay based. Again, this wasn't turfed by the site owner when we moved in, because I told him that I would seed it. The same as my grass around that side as well. I told him I'd do that, and it's kind of backfired on me. We've actually painted the fence grey. This is a first coat, because if you look at it very carefully, and find you somewhere it's obvious, it is a bit greeny in parts. Here's one here, look, because it was very mossy behind this wood. So although we've actually painted it all grey, and it does look rather nice, and I've gone outside there as well, look, outside of my border, although this is my plot up to that line there. So, you know, got to look after it now. Site owner says we've got to do his own grass, as you've seen before, so it's got to be done. I'm not doing anything else apart from my border and my grass, and he's still got the communal areas that are his problem, and in with your ground rent, so hopefully it will stay that way. So yes, that's the grey fence painted. Looks okay, and also around this side now, let me just show you this. This has also been done by the guys on the site. It's all been treated now in a real smelly creosote, which I didn't think anyone used anymore, but there you go, looks better than it did. So that's it. These are all maintenance jobs I've got to do. Another coat on this and get something done with this. This will be our last big spend. There's no way in the world I'm spending any money, anything on this site to do with land or prepping anything, because I'm done with it. You know, you can only spend so much, and then you're just putting money into money into money, and it's like a money pit, and you will not ever get it back off one of these lodges. Let's just put that right, folks. Just remember what these are. I've said before, they are not an investment. Don't think they are. And anything you do like trimming this kind of thing off here and making a feature and all the rest of it is a personal thing. So the more you spend, the less you're going to get back if and when you sell. I fitted these things here, which says it's got some stickies on here so we can take it down any time. Came not to size, mate. I'd have to cut both ends of these and straight down. And so yeah, 15 quid. Now one day last week in this lodge I had 23 flies. I had to close this door and spray up, get the dog out, cover any food. 15-20 minutes later, sorted, all the flies were gone. So this is why we bought this, and this is why I put it up. Since we put this up, even with the hot weather, I've had no more than maybe 2 flies, because that door at the moment, as you can see, is shut. We had that open all day last time, and with no coverings and nothing on it, no fly protection, 23 flies. So there you go, cheap, simple, 15 quid, did the job. Number 2 up, this is for one of the patio doors. Again, we've gone for the 15 quid. We can take them down. Luckily, I had tucked away in the shed. Again, some of these, I just used double-sided stick-ons. You can take them off when the winter gets here, as you can see. So that's how I've done that. So another bit of maintenance done, or summer maintenance. And that's one for that door. Now, these are never as good as full fly screens, but at 15 quid each, that means we've invested 30 quid in that one there and this one there put together, and they can be tucked down when the winter gets here, or in autumn. And to me, that is a cheap way of doing it, folks. When the wind catches them, you get the movement. Flies don't like movement. It will scare them away. But even if it, like, you know, kept 60% of the flies out, it's job achieved. Okay, people, just so you realise that this thing here is the second best, fabbest tool in the world after the fly nets, because this thing here probably kills as many as anything else. And this was a little free gift from one of our neighbours that live on the same site as we do. For the minimal cost, she says, it was worth every penny giving it to us, and she's got one. And I would guess that, put it like this, I use this pretty much every day for at least 1 or 2 flies that get in. So there's an investment for you. Go get one. Okay, staying on the theme of minor maintenance, there are a few bits which you can see here, little tiny chips, but I've got a specialist paint to put that right. So no major hassle. I think sometimes you do get the odd chip, obviously, when they're doing the grass, and then you get a chip up on here, but not that one. That wouldn't be that. So yeah, looking around, there's no others really that I can see, apart from those 3 little ones down there. That's good. Okay, sorry for any outside noise. There's a fair few tourists here tonight on this glorious summer's evening. This brings me to warranty and warranty work, and how it's done, how it's perceived, and how it's accepted, and what you have to do to get warranty work done on a lodge. Sometimes it can be a bit of a pain in the backside. Waiting times are sometimes a bit tremendous. 6 to 8 weeks before you can get a technician out, or a fitter, or whatever you want to call them nowadays. The downer with this is that all of the warranty work has to go through, or officially should go through, the site owner. Don't forget, you buy these lodges as a third-party buyer. You buy them through the site owner. He takes his cut and it's job done. So obviously the warranty is in his name rather than yours. This was something that I was asked on after the Q&A video I did, and yes, officially, because he was actually the purchaser of the lodge, with any company you want to deal with, the warranty stays with him. Now, he's going to do everything he can to please you by getting the things fixed. He doesn't want any issues with that lodge while it's on his site. So we've got a very good kind of guy we work with, the site owner. And yeah, if you've got an issue, Bill will sort it through the warranty paperwork, but you have to fill it in on his behalf and he will sign it, has to go away and blah blah blah. Anyway, There's a lot of phone calls that you can sometimes make and get nowhere, but if the site owner gives authority to you through who he bought it from to be the middleman instead of him doing it, it can sometimes work in your favour. So remember that one. Because obviously site owners have got a lot on. Once they've sold you this and they've done all their work around it, they're on to the next project. So they would sooner you handle it if possible, and I'm all for that, because I'd sooner take the rod and beat it a few times, because you can speed things up slightly instead of going through the site owner stroke third party. So that's what I personally do. Anyway, moving on. There is some work we've had done on warranty on this lodge, but it has took, don't forget, we've been in this thing over a year. So it has took around 9 months to get some of the, I won't say major jobs, because it's all been minor stuff, done. The biggest issue I had, and I think I've shown you this, was the foams that were meant to keep the wind out in the roof lining were all misaligned. Well, that's been done. Also, we had an issue with one of the interior panels that had marks on it, which you could see if you stood in a certain area. Well, they're still meant to be coming around and doing that, but because it's a two-man job, and they send these guys out on their own, some of these companies, he can't do it. It is a two-man lift, a two-man job. They've got to all reseal it. You'll break the board if you try it with one person. And the guy who came here last, great technician from the company we're with, he basically said, look, you know, as an owner, you shouldn't be doing this. We should be putting this right for you, which is 100% correct. So that's still got to be done. We've now got a very, very fine hairline crack in the main shower that we use in the ensuite room. I don't know how it's come about, but he's actually repaired that now. He's going to come back and smooth it out and shine it back and enamel it up and make it lovely again, but that's been done. We've also had some electrical wiring done in the kitchen. There were some under cupboard lights that were never working from day one. Now that took around 6 months to be put right, but they have done it now. Two guys came, found the wires, had to go right around the back searching for them, pull them through, connect them all up, job done. They are now working. It's all minor stuff, but it's the kind of minor stuff that you'd have thought would have been double checked at factory. And again, the funny one was when we first had this, and again it was put right under warranty, was that the switches were all named to do certain things like the hob and the microwave and everything else, and you turn one on and it made something else come on, and so all the switches had the wrong names on them. Minor but major when you want to get on with something. So that was another one that was put right. One of the major ones have always been the doors on these lodges. Be prepared for door issues, 100%. Let me just show you. Okay, on these things here, the double patio ones for starters, these have been well out of line for a long time, and even now you can see one is higher than the other. Now it's had to do it this way to make them shut correctly. So when these things are put in at factory, they don't seem to align them very well with down here. Let me just pull back a tiny bit. There you go. And to be fair, the easiest way of doing this is to show you around here. Okay, you can see here where he's had to put some paint on and re-dab it all, because this was out like that, and so was that side. That was out like that. So imagine a curve from normally there and then out like that and back in. That's exaggerated, but they were. So he had to take it all out, bring them all this way to make this door shut. So these doors and windows, or mainly the doors on these units, are not great. They kind of move a tiny bit with the heat as well, obviously with the extreme heat, i.e. anything above about 22 degrees, you're going to get movement issues. These took him near enough all afternoon to put right, but now, even with the heat we've had today of 30, 32, they've not moved one bit. So that's great news. So he did actually say to me that he actually had to completely move them out and realign them to their maximum. He cannot get any more on those, but hopefully that'll be it. You won't need to get any more on there. They are now brilliant, so that's great, and they shut easy and they both lock and everything else, so lovely jubbly. While I'm on doors and windows, if you notice on these things, and again I think I've mentioned it, they're put in, sealed, and then siliconed around the edges, like a normal window in a house. The downer is, when this left the factory, a lot of this was not sealed. Each one of these, as you can see, yeah, he had to come back and put silicone in. Virtually every single one. And across the top, well, that was a joke, because across the top seam, there was hardly any silicone whatsoever. And it's the same with all the windows. We had one leak, so he's basically gone all the way around these and completely seamed every single one, again, across the top, down each side and everywhere. So just if you buy one of these units, be it a Sensation or not, any unit you buy, any lodge, just make sure that you get all your windows, okay, day one, go round them, make sure they're all totally sealed. But there is one company that doesn't use a seal like this. They use a sponge seal, which then sinks into these. But just make sure it's all well sealed, because the last thing you want is ingress of water. Now, this brings me back on to the next warranty factor. Now, when the company puts these screws in here, okay, they know exactly where they're going. It's all planned for. So maybe it's sealed at the back, okay, so you don't get water ingress. Now, your warranty on all these units is a warranty for water ingress. It shouldn't happen, but you void your warranty if you make a big hole or even a small hole anywhere on the outer skin that they don't know to, that's not been done at factory. These, look, but behind there would be sealed. So anything you do and put on these things and make a hole, if that position then gets any water ingress into this skin, your warranty is void. Simple as that. So when you do anything to these things, do not use screws and drills and anything else into this outer skin until it's out of warranty, because then it doesn't really matter, does it? But if you want to keep your warranty, be very wary of that. Don't start bolting stuff onto these things and going through this membrane, because once you've done that, you're asking for trouble, especially if you don't seal it behind, because if water gets in it, boom. Ingress water warranty will be void. This brings me on to something else. Number 2 on what you shouldn't do so that you keep your warranty. And this is one that a lot of people don't know about. See these things here? These are where joints happen, and it like reinforces it as well. But so if you, for any reason, want to come and use this here, don't put a hose on it and use it up against your lodge. If you do, and you get water ingress through hosing it down, they will not come and repair it. They will void your warranty if they know that you've been using a hose up against your lodge. Now, I'm not going to say this is 101% correct, but it's what I've heard through the business. It's what I know and picked up through Google and everything else. And even 1 or 2 old technicians I've spoke to have been on these things down in Hull, where they're mainly made, have said the same thing. Be very, very well, wary of water ingress. So don't start screwing big holes into it, especially where you think it's going to get water inside it, and don't use a hose up against your lodge. Just remember them 2 things on the warranty. Okay, I'm being very general when I say this, because all manufacturers are slightly different in what they offer. But if you look at this as a general thing, from the date of purchase, you'll normally get a 2-year parts and labour warranty on all of it. That includes what's inside it and what's out. Now, after this time, it's a bit different. You'll get another 12 months on little things like showers, taps, baths, radiators, all your sockets, your switches, your normal stuff that you use on a daily basis, and even some furniture. Now, again, after the initial 2-year warranty, you'll get another 3 years on your chassis, your roof, your walls, your ceiling, your floors, external doors and windows. They should last a long time. Then, of course, after that, the only item with a 10-year warranty is the chassis, and that's if it's only normally fully galvanised, folks. And remember, some are not. Yours might not be. Hope that helps. Okay. Another one, look at that perfect timing there. ants. If you can see him there crawling along. He's just one I can point out straight away, but ants are a massive problem living in these lodges on this stuff. They love it. I think I might have mentioned ants before. But what they do, they're devils. Oh look, again, perfect timing. There's one actually crawling, if you can see him there, look, on the lodge, and another one there on the lodge. And what they do, they crawl up, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to kill them. They crawl up and find any small hole that you've got, and they'll be in. They will be into your lodge, especially if you have these things near you. These are poplar trees, which are magnets for greenfly larvae and anything else that wants to grow and be born, and then the ants love them. The ants will crawl, hold on, we'll just go across here a moment, and there you go, straight away. If you look closely, you'll see an ant crawling up that tree. I've got him there he goes. That is what I'm talking about. So they'll go up, get onto the leaves from the tree, and then boom, and they get blown down and they end up on your decking and everything. So ants are a major league problem, especially when you've got all this done. And don't forget, it sits on a concrete base. So every third of these I took up. 2, 3, out. 1, 2, 3, out. And what I did, I put ant powder all the way along the back of this seam, all the way along here, and I also took the grass back away from the lodge, and every single foot that you can see in breeze block, I've actually put ant powder. You can see it through there, look. Now you can see there as well, look where I've done it. That's on the bottom of the foot. See what I mean? So yes, major league. Not even as I'm walking back in now, look. Ant trails. So be wary of that. They will get in your lodge. So I'm not saying they infest your lodge, but we've had quite a few. Rogue ones as it may well be. No warranty for that one, I'm afraid, folks. It's just a matter of living with it. Well, I hope this has been useful to you. It's been a year, so I had to do a number 11. Didn't know I was going to do it or not. Last minute thing. I've been doing a bit of filming as I've been going along in case I needed it, and I'm glad I did. 11 is here now, so enjoy. Any questions you've got or comments, drop below as normal. I'm going to say this before I forget, thanks for watching yet again. Please subscribe if you like these lodge videos. I've pretty much decided I might do 1 or 2 more, so hang loose for those. Meantime, is lodge life right for us? Financially, yes, at the moment. We could go back to bricks and mortar tomorrow if we had to, but I wouldn't like to. I like the lifestyle we've got at the moment. Would we look somewhere else? Maybe. Would we consider nearer the coast? Maybe. Just remember, folks, when you're buying your lodge, as I said before in the Q&A, it's location, location, location. Think where you're going to buy, how much area you're going to have. Ask yourself these things and just double check with the site owner what you're going to get for your money, what happens with the communal areas, how much the ground rents are going to go up, etc, etc. Because we're, like I say, we're a year in now and we ain't as green as we were. And I've learned a lot in the 13, 14 months we've been in this. So, and this is why I love passing it on to you people who are considering buying a lodge. So just you can either take this with a pinch of salt, or you can take it as 100% factual. I never say anything on my videos that I don't believe in, and I pretty much know are facts. I don't want to give false information. This is why I always drop a disclaimer in the front of this, and I'm going to say it now. Don't blame me if nothing works for you. It wasn't my fault. Anyway, enjoy, subscribe. Well, there's another electrical EV one coming up soon about my tyres on my Tesla. And I'm continuing with the road trip in the USA. At least 2 more to come, so look out for those. Thanks for watching, and again, I've got to be out of here. Tire's pushing on, and I want a drink. Later.